This past week on Wednesday, Elizabeth Warren unveiled a plan that she's running on as part of her platform for her bid for presidency, and it has to do with prison reform. So let's take a second and see what she has to say. As regards to the 1994 violent crime bill, Elizabeth Warren says, the 1994 crime bill exacerbated incarceration rates in the country, punishing people more severely for even minor infractions and limiting discretion in charging and sentencing in the judicial system. Warren writes a proposal, which was posted Wednesday to Medium. The punitive, tough-on-crime approach was wrong. It was a mistake and it needs to be repealed. I don't entirely agree with what she's saying here. There are sections of the bill that unfairly targeted certain members of our community. And that's something we'll get to here in a second. So, Elizabeth Warren continues to say, there are some sections of the law, like those relating to domestic violence, that should be retained, but the bulk of the law must go. The 1994 Violent Crime Act was written into law by Bill Clinton. It was co-authored by Joe Biden. As a result of this law, an unfair amount of African American families lost loved ones to the three-strike law. It greatly did a disservice to the African American community in this country. Elizabeth Warren sees this and wants to capitalize on it. Okay, so essentially what she's doing is waving the keys of freedom in the face of the African American community. She's admitting that yes, our party locked you up, our government locked you up, but if you vote for me, I'll set you free. That's disgusting. That's low blow. That's bottom of the barrel pandering right there. Elizabeth Warren should be ashamed of herself. We're not going for it. Hopefully the African American community is not going for it. And this needs to be exposed. This is something the Democratic Party does on a regular basis to exploit communities in our country. But you know what? In every gray cloud, there's a silver. In an article titled, President Trump Signs Criminal Justice Reform, First Step Act into Law. This article was written on December 21st of 2018 by Aaron McCarthy Holiday. It says, President Donald Trump signed on Friday the First Step Act, a bipartisan criminal justice reform bill aimed at reducing recidivism and redefining sentencing laws and harsh penalties. The U.S. Senate approved the act Tuesday with a vote of 87 to 12, and the House signed it on Thursday, 358 to 36. The bill revises the Controlled Substances Act's harsh drug penalties, including the lowering of the three strikes rule for drug felons that had sent them to life in prison, now down to 25 years. And it changes the two or more felonies within the rule from any felony drug offense to a serious drug felony or a serious violent felony. And this is defined in the bill. The bill also expands in-prison and post-release employment programming, includes components related to alternatives to prison for low-risk prisoners, such as home confinement, prohibits restraints on pregnant prisoners, and mandates evidence-based treatment by opioid and heroin use, among other things. Okay, so this is good news for American people. If you have a family member that's a drug addict, they're no longer subject to go to prison under the three-strike law and spend the rest of their life there. Heroin addiction is a major issue in this country right now. The opioid crisis is out of control. This bill particularly aims at that too, for rehabilitation, proven rehabilitation. You know, he's setting expectations for the prison system that these things must be done. These things must happen. This is a bipartisan bill signed by Donald Trump. He's down the middle on this, and he's really doing something for the American people here. He's doing something for the addicts of America. He's doing something for the family of addicts, and he's doing something for the prison system. The prison system's overcrowded, and allowing these low offenders, they don't need to be in prison. The final paragraph of the article, there's a White House statement that says, the First Step Act will help prepare inmates to successfully rejoin society and enact common sense sentencing reforms to make our justice system fair for all Americans. So, thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you for getting this bill pushed through. You did a service to the American people. I guess as a final thought, I would like to rehash what Elizabeth Warren's doing here. Okay, so she's telling us that we locked you up, only I will set you free. Vote for me. That's what she's telling the African American community. We're not dumb. They're not dumb. Stop playing us like we're dumb. It's just kind of the way it goes. Elizabeth Warren, you're not going to do anything for us except get our country in a lot worse of a position than we were before. And the way you pander does not help that situation at all. So, get aware, get informed, get educated, especially on the policies of Donald Trump. You don't get that in the mainstream media anymore. So, it's digging you have to do yourself. It's there. It's proven. He's proven a better president than anyone in the Democratic Party could be right now. So, alrighty.